Hey y'all, welcome back to Lorena's Kitchen, cooking in the Urban Studio. Long time no see. So tonight I'm going to be making some Tuscan chickpea burgers. And for our Tuscan chickpea burgers, I'm using 1 can of chickpeas, just Goya, regular. Make sure you drain, rinse really well. Set them aside. We're going to be using all together tonight 6 cloves of garlic. So I went ahead and already minced some of them up. I skinned all of them. I'm going to be using 1 green pepper. I have 1 bunch of Tuscan Kale. So it looks kind of like this. If you could see, it's very pretty. We're going to chop that down. We're using 1/4 cup of quinoa. So I have my little quinoa. And very small amount of basil picked fresh from my garden. And I have 1 small white onion. We're going to be doing half in with our chickpeas, half in with our kale mixture. So let's get things going, and we're going to get our chickpeas cooking. So I want to heat a regular pot, whatever you have. Oh, we're also going to be using some vegetable broth. So I got some unsalted vegetable broth. Very plain, but still all good. So I want to heat that up. I'm going to be putting my olive oil in. And I want to heat up my olive oil. Just make sure you coat the bottom of it, because I do not want this to burn. And I'm using my garlic press for my garlic tonight, because I do want it very small, because we're going to be mashing our chickpeas so that we can make our burger patties. So just put that. I'm going to be doing half of our garlic now in with our chickpea mixture. So once your oil is heated up, you can put half your garlic in. There we go. I already have half of my onion cut, peeled, diced kind of. So just, it's going to be the same exact cut for both with the kale and with the chickpeas. I just want it to be very small bite size, because everything's going to be very nice. Alright, so put this aside. I'm going to add my onions into my garlic olive oil mixture that I'm going to use for my chickpeas. That's now smelling very fragrant, which is always a must. Now that's sizzling. Give my good board a rinse. And at the same time, I also want to get my quinoa going too. We're going to need that. So I have our garlic and onion going. I'm going to add my chickpeas because I want them to saute a little bit, and then I'm going to add some vegetable broth so they don't boil, so they don't burn, but at the same time cook down a little bit. Okay, so my chickpeas are in. So now, for a while, that's going to just sit in there. It's over medium to low heat. And I have a little itty bitty pot for my quinoa. I'm going to start that going. There we go. And now this, I'm just going to be using my 1/4 cup of quinoa. And I am adding 3/4 cup of vegetable broth so that it can cook down. Once quinoa kind of looks exploded, it is done. All right, now Like our mamas all said, a watched pot never boils, so I'm going to put that lid right on there. Is that a good rinse? Okay, so, for our kale, I have my onion already prepped, my garlic prepped. I'm going to do my pepper. I'm just going to slice it. And then dice it up, just small, very bite-sized pieces, because this is going to go into our burgers. Now these I'm actually going to leave raw. I'm going to cook down our kale a little bit and the onion and garlic. But I'm going to leave our basil and our green pepper raw. Those are going to cook when we actually cook the burger patty. And this is something that you can make on the weekend. You can then wrap your burgers in some wax paper and some plastic or in a Tupperware and put them in the freezer, and you'll actually have an instant like meal during the week. That's awesome. So I just want to keep my peppers off to the side. Okay. I love having peppers in a like veggie burger. And why buy a veggie burger when you can make one and it's so much cheaper to do so? So I've already washed and chopped the majority of my kale, but I'm just gonna cut the rest of it. This is gonna be like bite size. It is gonna like wilt down and get smaller, and once we mix it all up in our beans, it's gonna be fine. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna light my pot for my kale. And again, I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil. It's one of my favorite ingredients. Olive oil, garlic, onions. If you could smell all of those in my kitchen, you know you came to Lorena's kitchen. Olive oil. We'll put that aside. And now once this is heated up, let it heat up. I'm going to put the remaining of my garlic in there. My garlic's in. My onions in. You can like, smooth out your onion on your hands. Make sure it's all crumbled up. So, and whoopsies. All right, mix that up, and mix my chickpeas up. My chickpeas are now ready for a little bit of our vegetable broth. So I'm only going to really put 1/4 cup of my vegetable broth in there, because I also don't want to saturate them too much. They are going to have to become burger patties. And I'm also going to turn down my chickpeas because I want them to get soft, but I don't want them to burn in that type of amount of liquid. And once my onions and garlic are all mixed up and smelling quite lovely over here, I'm going to be adding my Tuscan Kale in. We're going to put 1/4 cup of veggie broth in with our kale, and then we're going to put the hood lid on and let it cook for maybe 15 minutes. Should take me about for everything over here, and then we just mix it on up and have some fun. Give my quinoa a stir. I don't want that to burn at all. Perfect. Kale time. All right. Add 1/4 cup There we go. And I'm gonna put my lid on. I wanna watch it. I am going to clean up around here. I have my peppers already cut. My basil is ready to go. So now it's just cleanup time. Let that cook, let that go. And we'll be back here in about 20 minutes so that we can wrap up everything together. Talk to you soon.